And so I emailed them. I've been posting these recordings on YouTube. They're readily available, so you miss something, you can refer there. Today, we're going to hopefully finish the conversations we were having about your career goals. So please be patient and listen to your classmates. And we'll, I guess I'll just go in, I was going in reverse order. So I'll start with the people I missed last time, and then we'll move into the remaining ones. But first, I'm gonna take attendance. So if you're here, let me know. People are still trickling in. Syed Abis,
Here, Professor.
how we doing? And by the way, I hope you had a nice Super Bowl and day off. Okay, Syed Ahmed.
Here.
Hello. Samima Akhtar. Oh, it's coming in right now. Alessandro Alessi.
Good morning.
Morning. David Batesh.
Morning, Professor.
Morning. Samima Akhtar. Samima. All right. Anam Bahati. Winston Chan.
Here.
Well. I missed Melissa Calixto.
Here, good morning.
Morning. Bin Chen.
Here.
Hello. Kai Chen.
Here.
Hello. Jirui Deng.
Good morning.
Morning. Farhan Aram. Farhan. Brianna Faustin. Steve Fenn.
Here.
Hi, Professor. Did you call my name?
I did, so I gather you're here. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jonathan Gonzalez.
Here.
Okay. June Grant.
Here.
Okay. Ming Hao Hu.
Here.
Angelica Laborde.
I'm here. Good morning.
Jian Lin.
Here.
Leon Liu.
Here, Professor. Good morning.
Elizabeth Maddox.
Good morning.
Good morning. Rochelle Mendez.
Here.
Rochelle. Demi Mullings.
Here.
Cameron Nahar.
I'm here.
Well, Nicholas Neglia.
Here.
Aquino Olivier. Aquino. Jenny Perfecto. Jenny. Chenille Powell. Chenille. Anna Siddiqui.
I'm here, Professor.
Morning. Winjin Turbov.
Here,
Turbov,
Professor.
morning, Winjin. Jaren Walls.
Here,
Jaren,
Professor.
oh, Jaren. Yiwen Wu. Yiwen. Kristen Yip.
Hi, Professor. Good morning.
Anita Zhao.
Here.
And Zinrang May. Zinrang is coming in right now. Okay, I'm just gonna call off the people who were not here the first time. Samima Akhtar. Samima. Farhan Aram. Brianna Faustin. Aquino Olivier. Jenny Perfecto. Chenille Powell. And Yiwen.
Shaniel Powell here. I'm sorry.
Yes, Chenille.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so, all right, so let me just check the chat area. Yuan Wu. Okay, I have, okay, so, all right, so just to repeat myself, Samima Akhtar, are you here? Farhan, Brianna, Nicholas Aquino, and Zinran May. Okay, I think a couple of people. Samima, you're here. Are you here, Samima?
Yeah, Professor.
Okay, all right. Okay, so all right, so let's get started. Let me change the sheet. Okay, Jaren, I know you're here. Did you want to get started? Jaren? Okay, Nicholas.
Hi.
Go ahead. So we're talking about our career goals.
Okay, so my career goal basically to finish my bachelor's degree in business management and then go for my master's in sports management. I want to become like a sports agent or like anything within the sports industry. So then I'm going to try to look for an internship with any type of agencies.
Good.
And then I have to take like the tests to get certified.
There's a
And then I
certificate.
go from there.
Are you networking in that industry? Is there a way to do that?
No, but I haven't yet, but I'm definitely going to use the LinkedIn advice you gave in class. I want to try that maybe.
Yeah, and there may be some associations or something that you can join. I don't know what they would be, but what they are, but I'm sure there's ways to participate in industry events and so on. And
Yeah.
people. Good. Okay. Where were we? So I just did Nicholas. Here we are. Okay. Good. Okay. Cameron Nahar. Cameron. Okay. Zinran May. Elizabeth.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're fine.
So currently right now, I am a business administration major.
Oh God, I
It
can't
was a
hear
text
you.
major, so I just read it. Huh?
I can't hear.
Anyone?
Okay. Can you do it now?
Yes, can you hear me now?
this better?
Yes.
Okay. So currently right now, I'm a business administration major, but I want to work in the childcare field. So I've been getting a lot of experience by working in daycares and working in the private sector and creating a client base.
Okay. Good.
And so eventually I want to open my own center. I'm going to try and get a client base within the neighborhood that I'm going to look for working in. So therefore I can get more clients at once
Okay.
and start maybe at home.
Okay. All right. So it's basically a small business.
Yes.
Have you done market research? Have you done a business plan?
I'm working on it.
Okay, because it's not too soon for that. You can easily do the market research and
Yes, I recently honed in on what I wanted to do, because before I was up in the air of exactly how I was going to implement this plan and where my career was going to go. And the book also helped me realize that I didn't want to sit behind a desk all day, and I like being outdoors and hands-on.
What kind of capital investment does a daycare center require?
Capital investment?
Yeah. In other words,
I'm not sure exactly. So that's more research that I'm going to get into. I know I need to save up. I also need to have a property in which I can implement those things. So that's part of my asset. And then I also have to make sure regulations are in order, certifications.
Yeah. Well, you probably need legal advice and.
Exactly. Yes. I've also worked in a daycare, so I've seen how it goes. I've been there for the paperwork stuff as well.
I mean, yeah, it's sort of like opening a restaurant. I'm sure there are healthcare regulations and all kinds of stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Good.
Space wise and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I would recommend working on a business plan. There's a course on small business here that I think maybe you could do a business plan as part of that class. I'm not sure what they do in that class, but that might be a way, or just do it on your own. There's a lot of good books about how to write business plans, and you should refer to a couple to get a picture of it. You probably haven't thought of a few of the things that go into a small business proposal. A couple of books on it'll help you frame it. And you got to think about where the capital is coming from. That's a very big issue. They say, I think 2 or 3 years of pay for you should be in the bank. And
yes, and right now I'm working only part-time because of school, but that's worked well for me to help me get through. And then once I finish next year, I can be able to save and invest more into my business.
Very good. Very good. Okay, next one, we've got June Grant. Oh no, did I call Zingran May? Okay, June Grant.
Hello.
Hello, June.
So my career goal is to go into something in industrial psychology, like either an analyst or something. So currently I'm applying to scholarships in the field or close to the field.
Good.
And not scholarships, I mean internships. And with those internships, I plan to network with the people that I work with.
Okay.
And find opportunities. So I know is this really what I want to do? How I would go about learning more about it. And also I'm also looking into master's programs to go into to get my master's degree in the field.
Good.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of HR, like working in HR, or as a consultant?
Yeah, I'm not positive on which part I want to go into. So also currently I'm taking a class that's literally about the field.
Good.
So I see all the aspects and
psych area, the psychology department.
Yeah.
Good. They tend to be, more psychologically focused. HR people, I would say, they care about that and they include it. It's definitely a big part of it, but they're also somewhat more business oriented. So they care about profit and loss and how the policies interact with the company.
Yeah.
So you want a combination of that, but it's
Yeah.
certainly a great background to have, and it's very marketable. So, you're on the right track there. I think you might consider looking into consulting firms that specialize in HR, giving HR advice. I only say that because the pay is usually somewhat better, but HR is not a bad field. It's a lucrative field. And with that background, you can get into that also. And it's a good thing to, it's always going to be around. So
Yeah.
good. Very good.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, do the networking. You could also join SHRM, the Society for Human Resource Management. And
Okay.
HR stuff should really join that now and go down. There's a great chapter in Manhattan, and you should attend the meetings and meet people, see what's out there. Don't let it be a black box to you. You should be in the field, meeting people and stuff. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Jonathan, did I say Jonathan Gonzalez? No, that was for tenants. Jonathan Gonzalez. Jonathan? Okay, Steve Feng.
Oh, my career goal is to eventually work for a successful e-commerce business because I'm currently majoring in e-commerce,
Good.
and I've worked in like an e-commerce, like a small e-commerce business in the past, like where we sell like electronics on eBay and stuff, but I want to like work towards a bigger company like Amazon.
Oh, okay. Have you been informational interviewing with them at all?
Uh, no, I haven't, but I want to work towards that, yeah.
You can. I mean, nothing should stop you at this point. They have some people in the city. As you know, they almost opened a huge office here, but
In New York, they have an office?
no, I mean, I'm sure they do, but not a big one. They almost
Oh,
opened their headquarters here. Almost, I said, open
oh,
their headquarters here, but it was stopped by the political process. But
yes,
yeah, I mean, there's Amazon people all over the place, so it's
yeah.
such a huge company. I mean, they make deliveries, so you can talk to those people, and I would get to know as many as you can. It's such a huge company. There's no reason why you can't be talking and getting to know people in the company. And of course, there's layoffs now, but that opens opportunities because those things change over time. Now might be a good time to meet some people. So,
And I could meet them through like LinkedIn and stuff like that.
pardon me.
I could like meet them through LinkedIn.
Yeah, that would be a great way. Absolutely. Um, yeah, and don't be afraid to travel. I mean, if they're located elsewhere,
Yeah,
borrow some money, fly out there, and get to know them.
yeah.
I think the people who, when I used to work for J&J, I worked for J&J for almost like 2.5 years, and there were people. I mean, I just fell into it. It wasn't anything to me, but there were people who really wanted to work there. They were from the area. They liked the company, and there were people who had like interviewed in different branches multiple times before they got their offer. You can interview at the same company 20 times before you get your offer. So I would expose myself as much as possible to a place like that.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. Brianna, did Brianna go yet? Brianna,
Yeah, I'm here.
go ahead.
I've recently changed my minor to human resources development and management. It used to be health and nutrition, but then I don't know, I don't know, I wasn't seeing it. So my plan is to find an internship for this summer. I'm looking into Health Career Connections. They have an internship there,
Cool.
and I'm also looking
Like in HR,
into
but for a health company, is that the idea?
um I don't know. I'm not really specific about which company since I know everywhere, almost everywhere would need an HR. It wouldn't really matter which.
Mhm.
And then I saw New York Habitat, which is a real estate travel agency on Hire BC. I was looking on Hire BC for my internships.
Good, and you're
So
focusing on HR for that.
yes. hmm
Good.
Yeah, so that's my plan. I'm gonna try and apply there for this summer.
And the same for you. I mean, you should join SHRM and meet people there as well, and possibly do some informational interviewing as well.
Mm.
Farhan. Farhan, Aram. Jirli Deng. I'm sorry, Jirui Deng. I'm sorry, didn't see that. Jirui Deng. Kai Chen.
Hello, Professor.
Hello, Kai.
So my career goal is to first get my bachelor degrees in business management, and then I want to become a manager in like a restaurant, because I've worked in a Korean barbecue before, and my brother, he's gonna like open a restaurant like next year in Buffalo, so he said he'll let me go there to become like a manager and learn how the process is, because he's like he knew everything about the stuff already, and he
Neat.
wants to like become a manager there.
Cool. So that's what you want to do?
Yeah.
Good.
And I also have like another career goal. Like I've already done it before. Is like to become like a counselor in like a beacon program and summer camp program. I've done that before, and I'm still continuing to do it right now.
Will you have time? I mean, if you're running a restaurant, do you really have time?
I mean, when I graduate, I won't have time for that though.
Yeah. I went to summer camp when I was a kid, and there were like the people that did that kind of thing, they were almost always school teachers because they got the summer off, you know. So I mean, if that's something you want to do, that might be a way, but I mean, running a restaurant's like more than a full, I think of that as like a job and a half, basically. So I think you're gonna have your hands full for
Yeah,
counseling.
but I really like working with kids and stuff.
Oh,
I mean, I like both.
yeah, well, give the restaurant a try, see, it's the family thing, so you can experiment. And I would say if your heart's really in dealing with kids, maybe think about changing. Just because it's convenient for you to run a restaurant doesn't mean that's what you want to do, right? Yeah, I mean, there's so many careers available in education and childcare that like deprive yourself. I remember the camp I went to, there was this guy named Al something, and he was a New York City principal, and then in the summer he'd do that. And his daughter was at the camp too, and then I came across her like many years later. She became a college professor and teaches at Vassar now. And I came across her as like a funny thing, but yeah, I mean, there's no reason why you can't do that. I mean, if that's really what you want. It doesn't even, sometimes people say stuff like that to me, but it's like somewhat esoteric job, like becoming a basketball player or something. But going into daycare camps, education, that's not difficult. So you think about it anyway. Good. All right. Okay, that was Kai. Ben.
Here.
Hi, Ben.
Also, so my current goal, I want to be a management of a company, and I was looking for an internship in the summer and to start from the basic to learn and adapt to the pace of the company and explore how to maximize the company profit.
Could you repeat that? I had a little trouble hearing you.
So I was looking for the internship in the summer, and I will start learning from the basic and adapt to the pace of company and explore how to like maximize the company's profile, like the
Good.
profit.
What, do you have a picture of what type of company you want to do that for?
It can be the small business. I mean,
What-
the small company.
Is there a particular industry like restaurants, daycare, internet marketing? Like what type of business do you want to?
Like the restaurant.
Oh, like for a restaurant, okay.
Because my current job is working for the restaurant.
Okay, so you want to be a manager of a restaurant also?
Yeah, I can be.
Okay. And you're doing that now?
Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay, that's great. What type of restaurant?
like barbecue.
Oh, so you're Kai also. I see. Okay, so that's what you want to do, and are you two related? Or it's just a coincidence?
Of course.
I see. Okay, well, anyway, good luck. And it sounds like you've already made up your mind as to what you want, right?
Yeah.
Winston,
Hey, Professor.
go ahead.
So my career goal is to, after getting my bachelor's, 1 year afterwards, my graduation, I'll plan to enroll into a study program and passing my HR certificate exam.
Like the SHRM, the certificate.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's very good, yeah. So
And
you
then I'm currently working as a intern for the CUNY Central Office of Veterans Affairs for the past year and a half or so. And I'm currently a peer mentor in the veterans program for a grad center to help veterans and military and their spouses get into CUNY colleges. And yeah, help them with benefits and stuff.
you want to stay with CUNY or is?
No, I'm not gonna stay with the internship. I might look for like a full-time job as a HR.
Okay. A lot of HR people in this class. So, everything I said to the other ones holds for you too. So are you in SHRM now? Have you joined it yet or? No?
No, not
I
yet.
recommend looking into that and going to the meetings, get involved, meet people. You shouldn't have any trouble. There's plenty of HR jobs out there.
Yes, Professor.
Those of you interested in HR, there's a lot of HR people. There's a difference between being an HR specialist and an HR generalist. And if you like, let's say like, I think it was June, said she was interested in IO psychology, industrial organization psychology. And that a lot of HR departments will hire people with that kind of background. In a very large firm, they might be involved in things like psychological testing for the employees or organizational development. There's all kinds of stuff psych-oriented people can do. But I would say if your goal is to become, and like what I did, just to finish that description, what I did, for example, was I worked in corporate employee benefits, and I just fell into it. It wasn't my plan. I never had anyone tell me do this with them or anything. I fell into corporate benefits, and I worked in it for 9 years. And I mean, it's a very complex area, and after about 9 years, I had a decent working knowledge of the field, but all I did was that plus a little bit of compensation management. And I did not do staffing. I had nothing to do with unions or health and safety or training, none of that stuff. was in my bailiwick, was in my basket. And as a result, if I had continued in the field, I would have moved up. I'd already been offered a position as VP of comp and benefits, compensation and benefits. I turned it down to get a PhD, which I don't know if that was smart or not, but that's what I did. And basically, had I continued in that, it would have been a real stretch to go from VP of comp and benefits to executive VP of HR. That would have been a bit of a jump, because usually they want somebody who's got like at least some knowledge of the other fields. And all I had was the benefits, and then I'd probably have developed a bit of the comp knowledge. And so it would have been more of a stretch. So a way around that in HR is that if you start out as an HR generalist, which means that instead of working in the corporate office and doing strategic planning and policy making for a given area, you like in training, you might design the training programs and work with the top management and figuring out how to re-educate the employees when the technology changes or something like that. Instead of doing something like that, you start out like working in at the ground level, you know, at the plant or at the office, at the satellite office. So like if Amazon has an office in Manhattan for sales people and delivery people, so they have some kind of administrative office. So you would be the HR person for that office, not for the whole Amazon. You know, there would be other people, and you would report probably to the head of the office. So, you know, at the local level, the HR person will report directly to the plant manager or the office manager or whatever they call it. But there'd also be a dotted line relationship, they sometimes used to call it, to corporate. So, you know, the HR generalists had the responsibility for everything. So they would, like, you know, if they needed to hire new people, they would do the interviewing and the recruiting. If they needed some training done, the HR generalists would get involved with that. But they would work with the corporate people, so they would get exposure. So if you start out in doing that, you get the whole ball of wax. You know, you get the whole area, and then you can move from there into a specialty. You know, so you know, if your great passion is, say, unions, you say, oh, I always wanted to work with a union. You're in a company that has some unions, like say UPS. So you can move from there into labor relations. Or you know, if your passion is staffing, so you could move into the corporate office for that. So basically, you go from the generalist to the specialist and maybe back again. So the idea is that you've already got the broad rounded knowledge to eventually move up to executive VP. And so then you could travel through the specialties or not. I mean, sometimes what people could also do is move to larger branches and then move to a staff position in the corporate office reporting to the HR vice president or something like that. So there's a lot of ways to do it, but a lot of the time it's advantageous to start as a generalist in HR rather than a specialist. And that, I'm just saying all this because there's a lot of HR folk in the class. All right, Winston. So I'm sorry. So I interrupted you. So did you finish describing like you want to get into HR?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to add there?
No, nothing
Okay.
else, Professor.
Great. Okay, Winston. Melissa.
Hi. So my career goals, I wouldn't say I'm stuck, but I'm still like trying to figure myself out. ideally, I would like to be maybe like a manager of like a well-known company or manage my own business. I currently have
It's very wide. You covered
it,
almost everything there. What type of field, like, what do you like to do? I mean, is there something you enjoy?
I mean, right now I have two things I'm doing, trying to figure it out. I'm working in a retail store and I'm
Mhm.
kind of understanding like how a a retail business runs, seeing the ins and outs and also like building connections from there for my job.
Oh, that's
And then
great.
and then I also have a small side business where I make like floral arrangements and like strawberries. So Valentine's was pretty busy for me.
Oh,
Um, but yeah, I've just been trying to keep myself busy and like kind of understand how a business runs. So having like my own little side thing and also working in a retail business is
have you thought of maybe getting a job for a while at one of the florists in Manhattan? Like, where are they, in the 40s, I think, the West 40s? And,
yeah.
getting
Mhm.
some exposure to professionals and then, eventually starting your own outfit.
Yeah, so my uncles actually do that. They work with like big companies and they're florists. So maybe like, since they're my family members, I could kind of get into that as well. Start just connecting with
Oh,
people that yeah.
you have a lot of people you can informational interview with and work for, and that's
Mm.
great. Okay, that's good. So it was a lot more narrow than you started out.
I was building towards it.
You don't want to admit you're a florist. Yeah.
No.
Okay, good, very good. All right, Annam.
Hi, Professor. My major is accounting. So my goal is to work at one of the top fours, start full time there, and build my way up, and eventually get my CPA and open my own firm.
Cool. All right, that's it's full steam ahead. So, have you been interviewing with the Big Four, or doing an internship or something?
Yeah. So currently, I'm in an internship with one of the big fours.
Okay, excellent. All right, that's perfect. So you're on your way. Great.
Thank you.
David.
Yes. Hi. Um, Hi,
Hello.
you hear me?
I hear you now. I didn't for a minute.
Oh, okay. Um, so right now I'm gonna graduate this year with a business administration degree. And in the fall I plan to go to law school. I already applied to all the schools I wanted to go and they got back to me. So now I'm just making a decision where I want to go.
Yeah.
And so at first I had my eye on big law, corporate law, but now I'm having second thoughts. Maybe I wanna work at a mid-sized firm or small or open up my own firm one day. I'm still not sure.
Great.
I'm still taking it day by day.
Okay.
And so over the past couple of years, I've been active on LinkedIn. I've been connecting with multiple lawyers and professionals and speaking about them on their day to day, what their day usually looks like, and how to get from point A to B. And I actually had an informational interview a couple of weeks ago with the general counsel at Facebook, and he
Really?
was yeah, and he was basically just giving me all tips and advice on from now and how to achieve my goals in the future.
Can you
So
share with the class how you got that informational interview?
yeah, so I've been connecting with lawyers on LinkedIn, and I always I when they post something, I always leave a comment or I like the post, a couple of times before I actually message them to just like introduce myself, kind of like I comment and like, and then after a couple weeks I would message them and I would say, hey, my name is David. I love what you do. I love your content. And I would love to set up a meeting to chat. Want to ask you a few questions and just stuff like that.
And that's how you met this guy.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, there you go. Everyone heard that. That's very good, David. Excellent.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Do you want to work for Facebook eventually? Or what's
Um,
it's Alphabet now, right? Or not? I don't know. The stock is
I don't know. Maybe they have pretty good benefits, and they give you a lot of stock options, which is great. But I'm not really sure yet. You know, I'm
Yeah,
just
no,
taking it day by day.
that's fine. It's probably not a good idea to start with a general counsel. People move there after they've got some experience with a firm, so there's no.
Yeah. Yeah, you usually need like at least a few years before you move into general counsel.
Yeah, excellent. Well, it sounds like you're
Yeah.
really doing great. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, Alessandro Alessi.
Hey, good morning, Professor.
Morning.
So I graduate at the end of this semester with my bachelor's in BA and a concentration in international business and a minor in sociology. So I've started the job search just like the rest of the world has, mostly utilizing things like LinkedIn, because that's kind of the way that the future is hiring, is through these online platforms. So like David was saying, I kind of have the same mentality, just following people uh I see in my industry and then just liking their posts and just learning the way that the business is headed in the future.
Excellent. And have you been able to meet with anyone yet, or?
No, not yet. So it's still the early stages of that. I mean, I've been updating my LinkedIn since about like 19 years old. So I've been on there since. So I've been seeing like the way that it's been changed all throughout and the way that people are utilizing now. Like it really wasn't that big of a thing, but now almost everyone has it. Like some colleges, they make it mandatory for you to have. So I've enjoyed seeing that shift.
Oh, they make it mandatory. That's interesting. So have you spoken to any people in I think you said you want to go into like international business. Is that the idea?
Yeah, I would love to do that. I mean, I've been traveling my whole life and I love different cultures. So I was like, why not combine the two, work with pleasure, I guess.
Neat.
And yeah, I mean, I haven't done any informational interviews yet or anything like that, but slowly getting there, I guess.
What aspect of international business, like marketing or finance? What
Not so much finance. I mean, yes, somewhat to marketing, but like sales would be cool. Like having to do business with different companies overseas, things like that, and
Yeah.
just being able to work with different cultures. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, it's really fun. What are some countries you've gone to?
I mean, I've been mostly Europe is done. Some of the cooler places were Morocco, Turkey, Russia before all this. So
Neat.
yeah.
I'm envious. I haven't done as much as you. That's great. Excellent. Okay. I mean, in terms of
Thank you,
travel.
Professor.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Samima Akhtar. Samima. Samima Akhtar. No. Syed Ahmad.
Yeah, so for my career goals, I wanted to pursue joining an IT firm and programming for them, so becoming an IT programmer. in terms of programs like Linux. And I'm using my business degree as a backup. Like if worse comes to worse, I feel like I would do something in business. And for that, to ensure that, I'm gonna have to do internships. And I'm still looking for some.
Why don't you do an internship in coding? Do they have that? I would just work on that.
Yeah, definitely. If I find the opportunity for that, I would definitely go for that.
Yeah, you should. I don't think it's that hard really, Syed. I would just approach the tech companies and say you're interested in internship, you have some coding skills and
But the thing with that is, I feel like it's more important to land an internship for like a business job. Like let's say I fall back onto my degree to use it. I think I need to shift towards my business degree because for IT you don't really need internships. It's more about just the learning process. So once I learn the course, I can just get a job. I can land a job as long as I know what I'm doing. It doesn't really require prior experience.
I see. Well,
Yeah.
I think you might be able to do an internship in something related, say management, but related to coding. So like overseeing a systems area or something like that. I would try to be as close as possible to what you're really interested in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So have you networked at all? Have you talked to people?
Yes, I have. I know a few people that are into it, and they've told me once I'm done with my bachelor's, because that's like the minimum requirement, then I can start to it.
Good, very good. All right.
Yeah.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Syed Abbas.
Hey, good morning, Professor. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
All right. My name is Syed. I am a senior in Brooklyn College, and I am studying in business administration management. This is my backup plan, actually. My primary plan is to become a pilot. I want to be an international pilot. And the reason I'm doing business is that if that doesn't go well for me, then I can be a BA, business analyst.
Have
So
you
it's
certified yet as a pilot?
no, but I have flown a little bit, but I haven't really certified yet. I'm still working on that.
Yeah, it's not too soon. So that's great. I think a lot of, is it still true? I'm not sure. It used to be that pilots often started out as in the Air Force. Is that still true?
Yeah, I mean, like the outlook has really increased because they kind of removed a lot of pilots who were in the Air Force because it wasn't fair for people who were in pilot schools training and becoming a pilot. But it's actually really hard to become one. It's not that easy, but in this day and age, and like 2, 3 years down the line, it's pretty easy now. But it's a lot of money. It's like basically like law school. You're paying almost $100,000 out of your own pocket to become one.
Is that the training, is that long?
Yeah, the school that I work with, they charge about like $65,000, but it varies to like 90 to $100,000.
Wow. And then after you get that, you get certified, what do you then do? Like, how do you get a job in an airline?
So usually sometimes they have connections with the school has connections with the airline, so they'll come and hire you. But mostly it's basically on you to apply for the job and hope that they hire you. But
Okay.
I'm mostly gonna start out regional before I go international. There's a huge scope in regional.
Okay, all right. Cool, good. Good luck. My nephew is a pilot. He's in college too. He's been working on it also.
And that's nice.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Let me just call off the people who didn't go one last time. Jaren.
Yeah, you can hear me, Professor?
Yeah, go ahead, Jaren.
Okay, so my major I'm majoring in is business administration. Before this year is up, I plan on going towards my master's. I'm gonna try to do an accelerated program so I could try to graduate and get that done faster. One of my main goals is to open up my own online shop. I want to sell hoodies, designer durags, and hair products like oils, shampoos, and conditioners. second goal of mine is to get my boiler operator license. This is like a what's the word? This is like a just in case, like if the business don't like launch like it should, I have that in my back pocket.
Could you explain what a boiler operator is?
So you know, people that fix refrigerators, like fix refrigerants and stuff like that. I want to know how to do stuff like that, and I've been taking like these training courses and stuff like that. I gotta get the right computer because like the test, you can do it on Zoom, but it's like ProctorU. They gotta like see you as you take it to make sure it's all legit. So I gotta get a iMac so it can be compatible. But I'm definitely taking that. Back to the business. I had an internship where they helped me learn how to like deal with like management of what's the word? Management of marketing, like ads, how to pay for ads to market your stuff on Facebook, Instagram.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I helped another business owner, and she owned like a ice cream shop called Sandbars. That was like one of the classes I had for my internship experience, and it was good because I learned how to like. It was stuff that I didn't do before that I learned in that internship experience. So when I own my own business, it's gonna come easy. I'm not gonna need nobody help to help me with that part. And the
Which one
domain
do
is
you
gonna have
really
domain
want to do?
myself.
You want to do the internet thing or the boiler thing?
I want to own my own business, like sell my own like designs and stuff like that. But the boiler operated thing, I'm getting that so I can have that in my back pocket. So while I'm getting my business off the ground, I can have me like a secure job to help make money on the side to be able to fund all the stuff I need.
I don't know, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I would like focus on, have you worked up a business plan for your internet ideas? Your
Yeah, I got the website design. I got the hoodies designs. I have everything designed digitally. I just gotta like get the like you know the supplies and stuff.
what kind of capital investment is required for this?
Capital investment as like in what?
Well, you have to pay to set up a website. You have to, support yourself while you're running a internet business.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
The
like the
cost of inventory, how much it costs to manufacture the things you're selling.
that I'm still that's getting still getting designed because I gotta find like the right I gotta find like the right store that could like sell like premium hoodies and stuff. I don't want to like buy any like inventory that's like more money than what I like would sell it for. So I'm still deciding on what's like the place I will get that stuff from.
Yeah, so a business plan is like where you sit down and methodically go through all the elements that are required to start a business, and you force yourself to think about stuff that you may not have thought about yet. And we all forget things, I mean, no matter how careful. And so basically, stuff like your marketing plan, what kinds of sales outlets you're going to go for, what the manufacturing process is going to look like, how much it costs, how much capital you need to support the marketing and manufacturing, all these kind of things. There's a million of them. So, like I said to a couple of people, that you should get if you take the small business class here, and they may go over, I'm sure they must go over some planning steps. But also, if they don't, or you don't want to take the class, you could just buy a couple of books and read how to write a business plan. And then sit down, and you need to spend about a month, I think, just thinking it through. And the more careful you are, the better you're going to be. And then, like, one of the big questions is, where's the capital going to come from to start the business? All right, because you can't run a business without adequate funding. And the difference between businesses that fail and those that succeed is often the initial startup capital. So you need to think that through. I would spend more time on that. I'm not saying not to do the boiler thing. I mean, it's a noble career. There's nothing wrong with it. But if your passion is this clothing line, you know, give yourself a chance at least to focus on it. You know, don't crowd it out with other stuff at this point. Because it's going to be, I mean, you know, I think what you're thinking is, well, you can always make money at a boiler thing, and you know, you don't know whether you're not sure, you're not confident about the other thing, about the marketing thing. But if that's your attitude now, it's, you know, once you start making the money, it's going to be really hard to do anything else. And you know, I think now's the time to take the risk and focus. You can always do the boiler thing in a year or two. No one's going to hold it against you if you took an extra year or two to start with your boiler career. So I would focus on that for now. Develop a business plan. Think about, you know, and maybe, you know, you'll think about saving up money in the boiler and then using that money to start the marketing. But you know, you should think through the business plan now, you know, and you have an idea of how much capital you need at this point. Because you know, all small businesses require it, whether it's 100,000 or 400,000, whatever it is. And the real risk is not having enough, not being, you know, being too demanding on yourself. So, you know, I think you can do the entrepreneurial thing, but you gotta plan it. Okay,
Yeah, got it.
good. All right. All right. Zingren May. Jonathan Gonzalez. Farhan Aram.
Hello, Professor. Sorry for not being here sooner.
Okay, Farhan, you go ahead.
Yep. So I was previously last semester, at least, information systems major, but I recently transferred over to business management because I felt like it was more convenient for me in regards to my graduation timing. But in regards to occupation, I'm currently balancing two part-time jobs. One being working as an intern at 311, and I also work as a business development representative at a company called LaunchGrid, which is basically like a charity slash tech, works in the charity slash tech sector. And my career goal would actually be to be a business or data analyst, which doesn't necessarily fall within the two occupations I am doing in regards to like actively programming or working with data day to day. But I do currently, I'm just trying to gain traction within the work field, and the jobs that I do currently work at do involve a lot with data and just understanding what is best for the company moving forward, how to handle representatives and customers alike. So basically, my action plan after these two part-time jobs is going to be to get my Google certificate in data analytics, and then hopefully reach out or a network. If not, go within one of my two companies that I'm working at right now to get incorporated into the data analyst department.
Okay, so when you say business analyst, what is that? That's what you really want to do, right? The business analyst thing?
Yeah, basically. So it's either being a data analyst for like a human sector firm, hospital, or something like that, or a business analyst for a business firm.
Okay, okay. What does a business analyst do? Like, what would you do on a day-to-day basis as a business?
Yeah. So right now I don't have like a very overall to call it a very specific understanding of it, but I was intrigued with like the salaries, the day to day and stuff like that when I was looking into it. But for a data analyst, at least, data analysts provide people or customers a way to visualize data and a way to interpret data in a way that is beneficial to them. So maybe extracting large sets of code, extracting large sets of data, and then simplifying it, putting it into graphs, images, and stuff like that.
So that would be like in marketing or finance?
Yeah, it could be.
Or all
Yeah, it could.
is there's like a specialty now and that covers all the fields, or is it targeted? Like if you say you're into data analytics, that means you're doing all the business areas, or you're just focusing on one of them and you know, studying that one area?
Yeah, so similar to the first thing you said. If I could just use an example for the current company I work at, LaunchGood, we get donations based on regions. So we operate across 4 different regions, and it's like the overarching business quality of the company we're working at. So the data analyst department within that company will like organize the data from the highest amount of donations that, for example, North America gets, or another one that get from Europe, Africa, all that sort of stuff, and then they compile that data and sends it over to our biz dev team so that we can understand, which region is operating the best, which region is getting the most traction and the most donations and stuff like that. So it's a whole department really, or the whole company
So it's
that the
basically
business
like
analysts are at.
you're more
Mhm.
it's like marketing research using computer data.
Yeah, I feel like it involves both, but some data analyst positions require R programming to better sort that data, but it could really be either or.
Cool. Okay. And that's what you want to do for the rest of your life, basically.
For now, yeah, we'll see how it goes when I get to that position.
Good. Okay, very good. So,
Thank you.
like with everything, it's probably, if there's a specific kind of firm, I mean, do you want to stay in the not-for-profit area or move?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of motivation behind working in sectors like that, due to like stuff like helping people out and whatnot. And I feel like that's a value that really resonates with me currently. So we'll see where it takes us.
Good. All right. So that's an area where you could certainly get internships and probably decide where you really want to work, like which not-for-profit is most attractive to you, and then get an internship there and hopefully work your way up.
Exactly. Thank you, Professor.
Good. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. So the class is pretty good. I'm glad to hear a lot of people thinking about internships and getting work experience doing things that are very focused. A couple of people have already done some informational interviewing, and that's all very good. I don't know if it's because of the Magner Center or maybe it's the way society is going, but you seem a lot more focused than previous classes have been, especially if I go back 5 or more years. You guys, I would say, have thought about it a lot more. I think part of it is there's been a lot of publicity about the shortfalls in the performance of college grads in the job market, and so I think more of you are aware that you need to do the informational interview and get the internships, do the things you need to do in order to move ahead. Very good. All right, now we're almost done for today. It's already 10:35, but we're slightly behind now, so I'm gonna get started on diversity and job attitudes, which are the material concerning chapters 2 and 3. And so I'll get a little bit started on that, and hopefully we'll finish it next time. And we're still a class behind. A big question that I would start out with is what is the extent to which companies should engage in social issues? It's unquestionably true that the public likes companies that are socially responsible, and most of the big companies now are engaging in ESG, environmental sustainability and governance policies. But at the same time, there's always been an argument that was put forth by an economist named Milton Friedman in the 1960s. Actually, I think it was the early 70s. And I'm just checking that. And basically, Friedman argued, actually, it was in 1970, so it's right on the border. And he published this article in the New York Times Magazine And he argued that the only social responsibility business has is to increase its profit, because by focusing on its products and serving society by doing a good job, that is how businesses can best serve society. And I think there's a case to be made that businesses aren't especially knowledgeable about social issues. I think firms that specialize in that, not-for-profits, charities, are better equipped to think about society. So it's always been a debate, but one thing is true, that I think people like it, customers and the public like it, when companies engage in social responsibility. So I think the attitude has always been that social responsibility is a form of marketing. When I say the attitude, but the attitude by higher management, by the people running the companies, is that social responsibility is a matter of public engagement. But in any case, that attitudes have three components: cognition, affect, and behavior. And cognition means mental and rational, and also implies beliefs. Whereas affect means emotional, and behavior results, or is an outcome from the cognition and the affect. So basically, I think what companies need to do is worry about what kinds of attitudes people have towards their businesses. Now, if you're running a florist in the city, most people aren't going to know what your social responsibility level is, and it's immaterial. Or if you're running a small internet marketing business or clothing line, or but I mean, when you're talking about Amazon.com or Facebook or a major corporation of any kind, the public image becomes very, very important. And this combination of affect, cognition, and behavior, attitudes towards your company become of critical importance. So it's very important, especially to get that attitudes have behavioral consequences. So some attitudes result in more distinctive behaviors, some in less. And what's important about attitudes is the behavior that they induce. So basically, if you think about the attitudes of employees or attitudes of managers, the important point is that these attitudes are likely to result in behaviors. And so we need to, as a manager, you need to be conscious of them because they have practical effects. So basically, the accessibility of an attitude towards social pressure is also going to be important. And one of the key issues in corporations is the extent of conformity. And people will adopt similar attitudes through imitation, or a fancy word for that is mimesis, that you copy the people around you. And so if attitudes become widespread, then they become part of the organizational culture. And the organizational culture is a huge motivating factor towards employees. So basically, attitudes can be very potent and predictive of behavior. Now, people who adopt an attitude become resistant to any alternative. And that pattern is called cognitive dissonance. That cognitive dissonance means that you don't like mental conflict. So basically, there was a guy named Leon Festinger who was a professor at Stanford in the 1960s, and he did an experiment where he ran an ad for students to assist him in what he claimed was his lab work. And when they got there, all he had them do was like, he had a peg, and all they had to do was turn the peg in the hole one turn. So it was like a square peg, and all they had to do for an hour was turn the peg. So it was like this ridiculously repetitive and boring task that had no meaning. And he did the experiment two ways. One, when he advertised the experiment, he offered to pay them a lot of money, whatever it was in those days. Let's say in today's dollars, $150. And then in the other way, he offered to pay them little money. So let's say it was $3. So he had two groups, the low paid group and the high paid group. And when they were leaving, he had a fellow psychologist who looked like a student come in, and the fake student would say to them, "Oh, Professor Festinger is away today, and he asked that you explain to me how to do the job." And when they explained how to do the job, they would ask them, "Well, how do you like what you did?" And what they found was that the high paid people all said that it was ridiculously boring and stupid, whereas the low paid people, not all, but a lot of them claimed it was interesting, that it was challenging, there was something to it. And in trying to figure out why the low paid people would have been more committed than the high paid people, what Festinger realized was that in order to justify the stupid decision the low paid people had made to do a boring task for little money, they justified it by explaining why they were right. So in other words, people need to justify themselves. Whereas the high paid people didn't need justification because they were high paid. So the idea of cognitive dissonance is that we need to justify ourselves. And so we try to be consistent in how we view our opinions. Okay, I'm kind of in the middle of this, but we're out of time. So basically, have a nice weekend, and we will continue with attitudes in the next class. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, and your class is over.
Have a good day, Professor.
Take care.
Professor, you're gonna post the recording, correct?
I am.
Okay, thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye, Professor.
Take care.
Professor,
Yes, Elizabeth.
do you think you can send me any of the links that you were suggesting for the books or the class for next semester on small business?
Could I send you links for the class?
Or suggestions
For
the books you were referring to as well?
I'll try to think of something. There used to be a very good book. I'm not sure if it's still available, called How to Write a Winning Business Plan by Joe Mancuso. And I'll check if it's around. If not, there's a lot of books. I think they're all pretty good. I don't know. I don't teach that class anymore, so I don't have the syllabus, but we'll try to find who does, and maybe you can contact that person and find out what they use. But I'll look for something as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hello, Professor.
Yes, Jenny.
I joined the class in late, so I don't know if you already took attendance earlier in the class.
I did take attendance.
Jenny, Professor.
Yes, okay. Hold on. Okay. All right, here, I just gave you attendance, okay?
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
You're welcome, you too.
Hey, Professor.
Yes, Zinrang.
Yeah, I entered like the attendance on the track, but I didn't necessarily see it or not. I come in like 5 minutes later.
Came in late.
5 minutes, like I come in like 9:35, and you like just call me, and I entered on the track. So I'm not sure if you see it or not.
Okay. You didn't do the presentation.
Oh yeah, like during the class, my mic is like I just fixed my microphone for it, so I just speak like on the.
Oh, here. Okay. I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear you. You said your microphone wasn't working?
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay,
tried like
get it
yeah.
fixed for next time. I'll let you do it in the beginning if you remind me.
Oh, so like for the like what's so like what's I like say for like yeah.
Okay, can you do it next time?
Yeah, so like what's I like talking about let it go or something.
God, I can't hear you. Can you get the microphone fixed a little and then we'll talk